And then looking out that nose, because you're letting the nose drop just slightly, so pull back to get the nose up. And then when you want to stop the turn, just to pop the stick forward to stop turn, and then bring the angler bank out.
Number 8 Delta Bravo, roger.
All right, that's good. So, I mean, why don't we move on from the steep turn, because you got it. There's no issues there. So for the loop, before we do the loop, we want to get to 140. What was the
let's do the roll first. Let's see what happens with like this stuff and things like that.
Okay. Yeah, we can do that. Go ahead and point us back towards our area. Where'd it go here?
November 69 Whiskey, are you a full stop at Laconia?
Full stop Laconia, 69 Whiskey.
November 69 Whiskey, thank you.
And when we do aerobatics, what we like to do is we like to anchor over the place we're working. So since we're not talking to approach, it's kind of like the dog peeing on his area there. We want to let them know visually, by not deviating too far from where we are here, that we own this airspace. And of course, we're checking for traffic. And in fact, the guy just popped up 300 feet above us, behind us. So we'll keep an eye on that thing for traffic in between the maneuvers.
Okay.
Okay, so we wanted to do the roll. So we're going to dive for 120. Once you get to 120 in the power setting, so you can fix the power setting at that. We're not going to have to reduce it during the roll.
Yep.
You're going to nice and crisply pull the nose up to about 45 degrees nose high and hit that with about a 2 to a 3G pull on the entry. Once you get it there, just relax the backstick pressure slightly. And then after you relax the backstick, or the stick goes all the way left or all the way right, and just hold it there until we do one complete roll.
Okay. I'll do one to the left.
Okay, and I'm on the controls with you. Let's do a turn to stay over our area.
To the left?
Sure, that works. Left or right, but...
For ILS 6, Manchester.
In fact, yeah, keep that turn coming all the way back towards the lake. And then roll out and go and set up for your roll.
Sure, and we'll stay VFR at all times for 1 Juliet.
Yeah, I'm ready when you are.
1 Juliet, flight heading 320.
Okay. Is that traffic? Where is he now? Off the left?
0.
We've got one on our left at 600 feet above us.
Let's try and get him in sight.
Yeah. I see him. He's just passing. He's now past our wing.
Alright, so once he's past our wing enough, turn left. Oh yeah, I got him in sight. Yeah, he's a jet, so he'll be no factor. And then once you get pointed back towards the area, you go ahead and start the roll.
Blue Street 5595, coming through 1,700 for 3,000, heading 040.
Lane for the woods.
Alright, we're ready when you are.
10,000, Blue Street 5595.
Number 8 Delta Bravo, turn right heading 110.
20.
Blue Street 5595.
Right, direct Ramey. Turn right, direct Ramey, Blue Street 5595.
That's interesting. So good. Reduce power all the way to idle. And recover. Alright, so good. We're, what's our G? Power as you need it.
No? Bravo Zulu, Boston approach, Manchester altimeter 3021, expect ILS.
Yeah, so definitely the fixed pitch prop is a new experience for me. The entry needed to be more nose high, and we lost a lot of energy in that entry also because you took a lot of time to get it to the nose high attitude. So go ahead and get us climbed back up to altitude.
Turn right heading 130, maintain 2000 total southwest approach course, third RNAV runway 16.
And you can turn back towards our working area again.
So I think the didn't have it reset on the G meter.
Okay.
I was showing it couldn't have been 11.3.
Sorry, Bravo, roger, your climb out at the end of the approach will be fly runway heading to maintain 3000.
Let's do 180 degree turn too, so we're not straying too far from our area.
595, contact Boston Center on 128.2.
282, Blue Street 5595, see ya.
So, I should be pulling back on the power in the roll?
No, the only reason is because we started off with a pretty low energy state and the nose got very nose low. I was just concerned about an overspeed situation.
Yeah.
So that was recognizing that we were about to overspeed and then possibly over G, so I just had you pull the power back. So that was not normal. Do you mind if I demonstrate one of those?
Sure.
Okay. My controls?
Yep, your controls.
Okay, I've got the controls. All right, you've got good trim on the aircraft. And you're going to have to back me up on the G. I'm going to target about 3G, and I really want you to pay attention to how I enter the maneuver. So I'm going to enter right here. I'm watching the tack. We're going to go for 120. And I'm going to return to level flight here. here. And this is what I'm looking for the entry. Get it all the way up to here and then relax. Then that stick. Oh, this is a heavy airplane.
Type 41 Juliet. 41 Juliet.
Oh, this is really interesting for me. I'm just doing a loop recovery right here. What's the G meter? Okay, what was our peak there?
I think that 3.
Okay, thank you.
That should be, yep, 3. 3 0.
And your controls.
I can.
Yeah, boy, without the spades. And again, 180-degree turn to keep us in the area.
Southwest 1321, Boston approach, maintain altimeter 3021, expect the ILS approach to runway 6.
So the entry, did you see what I was talking about? How I got it to a true 45 degrees nose high, and I set that fairly aggressively.
Yeah.
Okay. And so it's almost like doing the beginning part of a loop.
Third ILS, runway 6 approach.
Oh, but I just didn't get enough roll rate on the airplane when it started rolling, and that's why I pulled the power back to idle. So again, I apologize. I'm not that experienced with this airplane. I'm kind of figuring stuff out with you here.
Oh, that's not a problem. In the Super Decathlon, when I did those, I guess we only did a 30-degree up. And I certainly didn't need, it didn't drop.
And that's fine. I think, so I think in this airplane, because the roll axis is so heavy, probably the 45 degrees is more appropriate, but I think a 30 degree would be okay. But the point is that you can't take your time getting there. You want to set it sort of right away, just like you're doing a loop entry.
Right.
So once you try it again, with a true 45 degree nose high, and this time give yourself a little bit of pedal into the roll. Let's see if we can just accelerate that roll rate initially.
Okay.
And if we start getting too nose low on the recovery, I'll tell you power to idle again.
Should I do a slight forward stick on the, when we're upside down?
Let's try without it. Let's see if we can do it without it.
Okay.
But that might be the answer. I'm ready when you are.
Okay.
Boston, Skydive 5, 3,500, climbing.
Level.
Skydive 5, Boston approach.
45.
Due west.
And a little bit of pedal in with it.
Capital. Altimeter.
This is much better here.
3025, Skydive 5.
Yeah. Okay, that's the side picture we're looking for.
Current, no significant changes.
You know, I think you're right. A little bit of forward stick inverted would help. But that was exactly what I was looking for. So I think all it takes is just a little bit of pedal to help with the roll.
1321, pop us down.
It's really surprising to me the amount of roll forces that those spades give you in the decathlon. But yeah, so a good lesson for me is we got to pay attention to the RPM on the entry. You really need to get the 45 nose high to make that maneuver work, and pedal to assist the roll because the LR forces are so heavy.
Yeah.
Right, you want to go back and do another one of those?
Position number 2, buggy intersection, hold is published on the RNAV 14.
We do one more of those, and then we'll start doing the loops, and then we can come back and visit the rolls to do the competition rolls.
41 Juliet, turn left heading 250.
Left heading 250, 41 Juliet.
Challenger 4 Bravo Zulu, contact Manchester Tower 121.3.
Traffic off the left wing, same direction, doesn't look like it's a factor.
Yeah, they're 25.
November, Boston approach, Boston altimeter 3025.
And I'm ready for the roll when you are.
Oh, okay.
Pedal to help the roll rate. That was nice. Yeah, you did come in with a little bit of forward stick, and that seemed to help.
Yeah. After I saw what was happening.
Okay, so why don't we go ahead and maneuver to get back up to 3,500 feet, and we'll start that loop. So on the loop, entry speed is going to be 140,
Tower on 121.
and so you will have to move the throttle quite a bit on that, right? So we're going to have to reduce the throttle going into the entry speed, and then as you do that pull, we come in with throttle to go to full throttle.
Use your discretion, VFR practice.
And I can't see the tack, so I can definitely back you up on the tack to make sure we don't overspeed on the recovery.
Okay.
So I'm also wondering, because the Decathlon has much more power than I'm used to, than this thing. This has much less power than I'm used to on the Decathlon. I wonder the idea of doing a pinched loop. We may need to pull some back stick on the vertical.
Yeah.
And I will help you out with that if we need to. I'll tell you when and
300.
possibly come on the controls with you.
Right heading 30041 Juliet.
You mean forward stick on top?
No, you know how I have you? I'm going to have you pull to 4G
On approach IDAC.
and hold it there, like anywhere between 3 and 4G. And that's going to take us very vertical. So I think once we start going vertical, you're going to have to pull back more. So it's going to be pull more. And then on the subsequent loops, we can start thinking about forward stick on top.
Vectors for that, or did you want to start it at Erga?
And how was the fuel check?
Kona 208, proceed as requested.
How was the fuel?
Yeah, make sure our caps didn't fly up or something. Yep, we're good.
Okay. All right, if you're ready, you can do a 180-degree turn, but right or left, and then I'm ready for the loop. If you are.
Field of operator contact 3 south of Keys, proceed. Maintain 3,000, advising you'd like to depart the hold.
Traffic, okay.
All right, and then dive for 140, then return to level flight. 140.
Level.
And pull a little bit harder on the entry. And this is good. Now just freeze the stick right there.
309, took back. What was your next intention?
Oh, the RPM was no issues there. That was nice. So we started at 140. We recovered about 110. This video may have a lot of my head in it because I'm looking at your attack for you. But that worked out well. So the rhythm was pull harder. So on the next one we're going to pull, well, not harder. It's actually less control forces because of the speed. It's going to be pull more, and then we're going to come in with forward stick to float it over the top a little bit.
Yeah, I did let it up just a little bit, because I guess, I don't know.
Yeah,
Just from remembering doing it before.
Yeah. And very nice job keeping the wings level over the top of the loop.
Yeah, so we only pulled 2.9 on that one.
Okay, that was a good entry.
That's fine, thanks. Turkey 41 Juliet, turn right heading 030 into October Bus.
And what's our altitude?
30, join the local as for
Yeah, we gotta go back up a bit.
Control Cap Passenger jumping in 2 minutes over the Triple Sports Center, 1 to 4,000. I would agree to below.
I mean, I basically pulled the power once we were on top, which seemed to work.
Oh, just in anticipation of the speed on the back end?
Yeah. I'm not sure if that causes it to be more,
And you
out of
actually,
ground, but
because you didn't push forward stick on the top, we actually recovered at a slower airspeed than the entry. So I think you would have been fine on the power. But you definitely, it's a whole other dimension for me of having to pay attention to the RPM right now.
we got traffic on our same altitude. I don't see it in the sun.
I'm looking.
Right now, your heading looks good. However, there's traffic at your 11 o'clock and 2 miles northbound, indicating 3,700.
That's us.
Yep. I'm just gonna go down just a bit. But he's got us, I guess.
And approach Sears 756 South Bravo, we can cancel with you now.
Like he might be descending with you.
Yeah.
I've got him in sight. If you want to start turning to the left,
Approach 336.
I'll keep him in sight. Oop, next, out of the angle, thank you. I lost him with the wing.
And we're for what Juliet, 3 miles and 15 maintain via forward, Quid Iowa, slowly 6 approach.
Clear the ILS 6 approach 41 Juliet.
Service is coming, it's going via forward, you can change your locality advisory. Have a good day.
Have a good night. Cheers, 6 South Bravo.
I may cut these G5s off, because they're not really, interestingly, they're not, this one's not centering to level. I don't know if it just takes a while.
Oh yeah, I mean the maneuvering you're doing is.
Before 6-1 the Whiskey. Roger, and the traffic appears to be turning northbound now, so radar service is terminated. Squawk VFR, you can change your advisory. Have a good day. Code 208, thank you. Number 412, contact Manchester Tower 1-1.3.
Is that guy maneuvering out here? Do you see him?
Tower 1213, 4 Juliet.
Roger, 40812, approach.
Where is he? It's like circling with us.
Roger, 12, Roger.
Yeah, if you, I'd recommend you turn left so we can try and get him back in sight.
Yeah.
Roger, 40812, you'll be staying at 3500 or descending. Roger, 40812, Roger, and below that, I may lose you on radar and radio.
I don't see him, but,
Yes, that's what you say. What's the boss of the approach? Good evening, boss. The now altimeter is...
Well, it looks like he's heading away from us now.
yeah.
Alright, so we're going to do the loop again.
Thank you. That was for another aircraft.
This time we are going to come in with that forward stick
3022.
at the top of the loop. Just momentary, we don't want to go negative G. We want to keep it at positive G for about a second, maybe less than a second, and then bring the pole back in after that.
Okay.
Coming to Zoe, this is now Charlie and Nashua. The ready runway 14, but they can take you in the opposite direction. Expect me on that runway 3.
I'll be back to this.
On runway
Look.
14.
I don't know what that is. They're very slow.
Yeah, but you know, we're getting out of our area now, so I think if you did a 180-degree turn back to the left, we'll be going away from him, and then that would be a good heading for the loop.
Tricky 4582 Joe Boston.
Okay.
Good evening.
Ready?
I'm ready when you are.
Is 3025. And checking into Joe to verify the altitude. Checking into Joe, Roger, altimeter is 30.
Nice, with the full pointer right in here, forward stick, right, and then pull back. I'm watching your RPM with you.
Yes, I am. And verify the altimeter is 30.
That's nice, a slight overspeed there.
Yeah, at the bottom.
Right, and then a right or left turn to stay in the area. That was nice, you could have held that forward stick at the top just a heartbeat longer.
Uh-huh.
Tonnage is 8, maintaining VFR at or above 3,500 for traffic. Traffic is 1 o'clock, 4 miles doing airwork level 3,000 Cherokee.
And I saw the RPM going slightly above, but we were at the point where the airspeed was decelerating, so I didn't jump on the throttle for you. Was that okay, or do you want me to be more proactive on keeping the
Well,
RPM?
I was watching it too, so I think we're learning. Because I watched on the down, I'm like, oh, the RPM is fine. But at the end,
Right, that's it.
so I think we need to be just a little bit further back as it picks up.
But it was right at the very end as your airspeed was picking up. So.
Yeah, I think it says the prop is accelerating back up, yeah.
Yeah, but that was a good loop. Again, the only comment is just hold that forward stick pressure just slightly longer. And it's very hard to judge the roundness of a loop sitting in the airplane. You really just need to be on the ground and looking.
Uh-huh.
Stop altitude squawk maintain.
All right, would you like to do another loop?
3,000.
Sure, yeah, those are fun.
All right, ready when you are. And we should turn to, again, stay over the woods to our left.
Oh, to the left?
Stop altitude squawk. Maintain VFR at 3,000. And just let me know.
Yeah, see all those trees down there? That's where we want to be when we're doing the aerobatics.
Here's the lake. With the two lakes, it gets confusing.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Number
Okay,
4,
ready?
I'm ready when you are.
We're at 3. Okay, Roger. 14.3, which is what you're telling me you're at.
Nice, now pull back more. Right here, pull more.
So
right here, start coming in with the forward.
I needed to stop.
And again, you could have held a little bit more forward.
Three, let me know. Do you want to?
RPM, no issue at all. Did
Yeah,
you feel that little shudder
Yeah.
at the back end? That was us hitting the air that we disturbed when we entered the loop, so that was very good.
That still doesn't mean it's circular, right? It's just that we got right. We didn't
Yeah,
drift
yeah,
up
right.
sideways.
Right, it means we started we finished at the same altitude we started. But yeah, it's the the roundness of the loop. That's what you get judged on, and again, it's very hard to.
838 in November, contact.
And if you're doing a downwind loop versus an upwind loop, you need to adjust your entry and your exit from the loop. Well, that's good. So again, my only comment there is that we could hold that forward stick pressure just slightly longer to maybe round out the loop better. And I think we did get a little bit slow at the top, so remember how it's pull more, and then push? So you avoid getting slow with that pull more part of it. So at the point where the airplane is almost vertical, that's when you want to pull the stick back further.
Far altitude at this
Oh, really? And then push, so you basically only push right when you're at the very top then?
Yes, yeah. Yeah, in fact, get back in the area and do another loop, and I'll tell you at the points where I think you should be doing those things. You want to start that push maybe at about an attitude of about negative 10 degrees, so about 10 to 15 degrees before you're inverted. That's where you want to start coming in with the push. So right when you start to see the opposite horizon in the forward windscreen, start coming in with forward stick. You do a very nice job keeping the wings level. I haven't even been paying attention. What are you looking at when you're doing the loop and when you're going vertical?
I look sideways,
Yeah.
but I just glance sideways. I mean, it seems not really tilting off on its own.
Yeah.
Center maintain 4,000.
Right, I'm ready for the next loop when you are. And traffic display looks good. And I'm telling you that I'm ready. I'm not trying to push you. Go at your own tempo, please.
Center maintain 4,000.
Alrighty.
Unity 7 approach, you check them.
Nice RPM control.
Traffic's off your right side and a mile westbound indicating 3,000.
Alright, so that was the pull. Now right here, pull more. Get more pitch rate. Now with the horizon, right in here. Just float, float, float. Now come back in with the pull.
Unity 7 approach. Unity 7 Boston approach, good afternoon.
That was nice. That was very good energy management throughout that loop there. You seemed surprised by something. You said like, oh, what was that?
Oh, me? Well, that's lifting up.
Oh, okay.
As we head, I'm going to have to tack these down. Well, just surprised that we went that far forward.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
so that was good that you showed me.
Yeah. And what's the G meter, the recording pointer showing?
Hey.
Skyview 1 here, traffic at 11 o'clock, 3 miles opposite direction, level of 3,000 in Cherokee.
Yeah, so we're not hitting that high G's.
Yeah,
That's
what, three-ish?
Yes.
Yeah, that's about what my body's feeling, telling me here.
So the other thing I'm learning with it is that I only have to pull back just a little bit on the power. So I think once we're going up and we're in that position, if I pull back, or basically overhead, I pull back just a little bit on the power, then we won't overspeed.
Okay. Alright, so what do you say we start doing some of the competition rolls?
Okay.
How are you feeling? You doing okay body-wise?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Okay. Alright, so with the competition rolls, we're going to start those from level flight, and let's go, let's do the first one from whatever the fastest, actually about 120, I think is probably a good speed.
So what this says is 120 instead of level.
Okay.
I don't know how that would work in the sequence because it does say level, but...
Oh, yeah, so we'll hit the entry speed of 120, but then we're going to return to level flight just before starting it, so we won't be...
Oh, right, no, yeah.
Well, let's turn, if you don't mind, just so we get back over our area while we're talking. Yeah, so we'll dive for 120, pull back to level flight, and then we'll start the roll from there. And let's roll left for the first one. And I'm going to be on the controls with you. And as we roll left, it's just going to be like a normal roll to the turn to the left.
Right.
As we start getting knife edge, we're going to come in with right pedal to keep the nose from dropping. As we come through inverted, it's going to be forward stick to keep the nose from dropping. And then going through inverted, it's not so asymmetrical because of adverse yaw. But coming through inverted, we're going to switch the pedals and go from right pedal to having left pedal. Wait, am I saying that right? Yeah, right pedal to having left pedal. Pedal towards the sky to keep the nose from dropping. And the most common tendency is allowing the nose to drop while we're inverted because of inadequate forward stick. So if you look off the nose, we want the nose to trace a circle about the horizon.
Right.
Right, I'm ready when you are. And the traffic display looks clear. And again, I'm going to be following through on the controls with you.
Fine.
Okay, I'm ready. Yep, so right pedal, keep that roll coming, and we're coming in with forward stick.
Man.
And we dished out on the back end. And how's our G meter?
2.7.
What's that, 2.7?
Yeah.
Okay, well, you can add power climb back up. So yeah, that's interesting. It's because of the higher aileron control forces.
Unless that was, I'm not sure if I did reset it, so that was this. Yep.
Okay.
Central Crest has its weather.
And that was because we dished out at the end and we ended up doing like a recovery from a loop.
Contact flight service.
Well, what I was, so when I did the ballistic roll, I was able to move it. I mean, I felt like I had to grab it with two hands. This one, for some reason.
Let's turn if we could to stay in our area and also stay away from the skydiving airplane. So let's try another one of those. Let's try and get more roll rate initially.
Yeah. I almost have to grab, I think I have to grab it with two hands.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. If you want, I'll have my hand on the throttle and I'll kind of pay attention to the tachometer for you so we don't overspeed or over G. But yeah, you do two hands. But don't forget about your feet also.
What about yourself?
To roll into it, yeah.
To keep the nose up when you're knife edge.
Yeah. Well, I think in the beginning I probably need even more left rudder, right? To get it going.
Well, but you got to be careful because you're not trying to turn the airplane, right? You want the nose to stay straight ahead, so you actually might want to need a little bit of opposite rudder in the beginning.
Oh, okay.
287 traffic, 2 o'clock.
All right, are we? That looks like we're in the right spot, right?
5000 is able to pick up to be 7.
Yes, we are.
Okay.
Southwest 6780, turn left, I think 310 high altitude shortly.
Left turn 31,
Hello.
Southwest 6780.
Oops. Hold on, let me,
Take your time, get a good setup.
Still be a factor.
I just noticed that we were too high on the RPM. I'll go back up.
Okay.
Boston Road Helicopter, start 2.
And Austin Dr. Boston approach, traffic, heavy behind 10, verify value.
And Dart 2 in, altitude 2,500.
And Dr. radar contact, 15 miles south of Manchester, ramp 1 Manchester, altitude is 3021, and you bound to North East ramp.
3021, that's affirmative, back on the ramp.
Dr. thanks, advisor name it is Papa.
And Dart 2 has Papa.
Thank you. Southwest 6780 traffic, no faster, climb 18, 10,000.
Climb 18, 10,000, Southwest 6780.
Put at 25. All right, ready?
I'm ready. Start coming in with that forward stick and left pedal now to accelerate the roll rate. Oh, this is just hard to do in this airplane. This is the hardest maneuver you're probably going to do in a Citabria. And I think it's all about the aileron spades and those higher control forces.
Uh-huh. Well, then I could put on.
34.7, Southwest 6780, see ya.
Yeah, because that was...
So I think it may also help to pop the nose about 5 or 10 degrees nose high before you start the rolling maneuver. Oh, let's turn also because of the skydiving area. It's, well, what is that ring? Is that a 5-mile ring?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, we're still 5 miles away, so that's probably okay, but... Yeah, what you try that next time is just pop the nose 5 to 10 degrees nose high and then come in with the stick and roll. And I think, like you said, try that thing also. Give it a little bit of initial pedal in the direction of the turn to try and help generate some roll rate initially. We want to roll as fast as we possibly can to do this maneuver. Call it a slow roll, but it really has nothing to do with it. I don't know why they call it a slow roll.
Right.
030 for Dark.
And I think I've been helping with the forward stick coming through inverted. How are you? I'm going to try and not help the next time.
We tried to
So,
Yeah.
Yeah, affirmative.
so just make sure you keep the nose up as we're going through inverted. If the nose does start dropping, I'll come in with some forward stick to help.
Okay.
Dr. Thanks very much, and appreciate your cooperation. They were quite busy at Boston with the go around.
Sounded like it.
Dr. Roger.
Okay, ready?
I'm ready when you are, yeah.
That's level a little bit.
Yep. Yeah, there you go.
4 miles of mountain.
I forgot about the forward stick.
That's right. Obviously you don't want to be that rough with it.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
it's good. I feel like, is the engine starting to quit a little bit there? It just feels like there's a vibration as we're going through inverted.
It didn't. Yeah, it did feel like a little bit, but I wasn't watching the oil pressure.
Okay. It just seems like it's been very consistent in this airplane. I feel a little bit of shudder right as we're going through inverted. I don't know what that is.
Dr. Contact Manchester Tower,
On the loops as well?
No, not on the loops. Only
Yeah, on
this one,
these.
yeah.
Well, it doesn't have the inverted fuel, so yeah,
Yeah.
they did say that it could hiccup a little bit.
Okay. All right, that was good. I think kind of learning together, and that was a passable roll back there.
Traffic, Boston approach.
Right, how are we doing on fuel?
Altimeter 3024, advising information, Yankee.
We're at quarter and
Challenger 858, Charlie Victor, Roger, and
between quarter and a half.
White Tower, expect the hours, runway 16 approach.
Right, so how are you feeling as far as maneuvers? Is there anything else you want to do? We wanted to do one of the spins.
Victor.
Yeah, we could. Should we do a spin?
Yeah. You want to do a spin and then get back to Minuteman, or do a spin and climb back up and do another spin, or what are you thinking?
Well, we'll see. The last time I did one, it did make me a bit queasy.
So on the aerobatic spin, we want to end up on a vertical downline. But on this first spin today, we're not going to pay too much attention to that. So just do a regular spin. We're going to try and make it a one-turn spin. And once we recover from it, don't push the nose to the vertical downline. We'll work on that on future flights. So yeah, go ahead and start climbing while we're docking. I haven't heard a stall horn in this airplane. Does this have a stall horn?
It does.
Okay. So what we want to do is we want to, once we get up to altitude and we're going to actually do the spin for real, we're going to pull the power back to idle, maintain level flight, and just let the airplane decelerate to the spin. I always recommend cheating the spin a little bit, so once we get about 10 knots above stall speed, maybe 5 knots above stall speed, at that point just call it good enough and just put in pro spin control inputs. So full pedal, full back stick with the ailerons neutral. Obviously the power's already idle. So 5 to 10 knots above the stall, full pedal, full back stick, ailerons neutral, and let it enter the spin, and then just hold that for one rotation. For an aerobatic spin, you want to stop it after one rotation. You don't want to start your recovery inputs after one rotation. So you need to start your recovery inputs after about 3/4 of a rotation.
Instrument approach.
So because it's not a fully developed spin, it's not that critical to go full opposite pedal. So to recover from the spin, you can go opposite pedal. It doesn't need to be full, and a stick forward and neutral. And then, after that, recover from the dive, and put your power to where you need it to climb back up. Any questions on the spin entry and recovery?
Alright, so for the, can we do the recovery one more time? Sorry.
Yeah, the radio is annoying. In fact, you want to just turn that volume down even more.
Thanks.
again, we can prioritize our intercom over him. We've got the traffic display.
Yeah, and the guy has such a...
Yeah, it's a very distinct voice, huh?
Yeah.
We do have traffic 5 miles off our right wing. So if you would, give me a left turn, a right, left or right, doesn't matter, turn. Just to stay over our area. So the recovery, because it's not a fully developed spin, so normally for a spin recovery it would be power to idle, ailerons neutral, rudder full opposite, and then elevator neutral. That's the pair recovery. Because it's not a fully developed spin, you know, you can still go full opposite rudder, but you just don't need to. So you can just
neutralize it?
Yeah, neutral and then stick forward and neutral. If it doesn't come, if that's not enough to stop the rotation, you may need to go more rudder, but that's the kind of thing you just sort of have to get a feel for. Right, and I'll be on the controls with you on the entry and the recovery.
I'll maintain 3,000
and it's always good for aerobatic spins, for any spins, to have a very good visual reference point off the nose so that you know when you're coming around to one full rotation of turn.
Transponder 0233, and I have Yankee at P, second.
Thank you.
Hey, by the way, we didn't do a light check. Your airplane is okay for flight at night?
At night? Oh, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Just watching that plane. So.
Yeah.
45 is good? Or we could go higher.
Yeah. 45's fine, yeah. Absolutely fine for a one-turn spin. And if you're worried about him, a spin is actually not an aerobatic maneuver, so we could do it on this heading if you wanted to. Over houses and stuff.
Oh, really?
Well, that's, you know, good neighbor thing maybe, but again, it's not aerobatic, so we don't need to meet those same rules. But what you're doing is fine, as good as any area to do.
Well, I figured, yeah, I mean, if people are... All right, so, and we're spinning to the right, right?
Whichever way you want.
Where is he? He's over there.
Yep.
Roger 4012, approach. Roger 4012, Roger, radar 7, step and score VF4, and you can...
Oh, right there.
Have a good night.
Full rudder. All right, now start coming out with it, so opposite rudder, pedal forward, or stick forward. That was good, so we actually over-rotated. That was probably about 380 degrees. I think we're about 20 degrees off where we started.